Hi, I'm Jo, a paediatrician at the Royal Children's Hospital. I'm pleased to be here today to share with you virtually the work that we've been doing at the Royal Children's to avoid unnecessary waking of children overnight with what is a natural physiological phenomenon. So what's the problem? This is Zach, and Zach's asleep. And when Zach falls asleep, his heart rate naturally lowers. Unfortunately for Zach, if he's in hospital, then his heart rate will be plotted on our vector charts. Now, our vector charts have been amazing at helping us detect a deteriorating child early, but have the downside that they are plotted using large data sets of hospitalised children, so bona fides data, which didn't take into account arousal state. So Zach's naturally low heart rate during sleep has been plotted and triggers an alert to the nursing staff that he needs a rapid review. Medical staff are called, and before the staff even review the child, they ask the nursing staff to perform an ECG. The ECG, of course, will show a normal slow heart rate, sleeping bradycardia, and the child will go back to sleep and everyone's reassured. So what's the problem? Well, in the process of all this, we've woken Zach, who's trying to sleep and recover from his illness, and we've created an unnecessary workload for an overworked night team who are on skeleton staff covering the entire hospital. The nurses have had to perform the ECG, the bedside doctors had to come and interpret the ECG, and then the following day the cardiologist has to review and formally report the ECG. And of course, on occasion, abnormalities or spurious results are found, which then lead to further unnecessary results, investigations, and anxiety for the family. So our junior staff were telling us this was happening, but we wanted to measure the extent to which it was happening. We pulled our data from our EMR using all the data available to us since our EMR went live in 2016. We looked at heart rates between the hours of 8 p.m. at night and 6 a.m. in the morning when children were likely to be asleep, and any heart rate that was considered low but not seriously low, and the rate at which they were ordered ECGs, and found that 1 in 3 children were being woken overnight with what was a normal physiological problem to have an ECG performed. We tried to address this with the development and publication of a new clinical practice guideline that used new lower limits for sleeping heart rates. These were based off a smaller data set, Salome's data, but they did take into account arousal state. So they looked at what is a normal low heart rate for children when asleep. And using these, we were able to reduce our rates from 30% down to 20%. We circulated the CPG, the junior medical staff loved it, it was published, we supported this with further education, but we were still well above our target rate. So we've looked into why this is occurring. And we believe the reason it is occurring is that the EMR is still not supporting this practice change. If you plot a low heart rate, even if our guideline says it's normal, the nursing staff are still being told to order a rapid review. So how might we address this? Well, we're looking to put a best practice alert into the system that instead of firing a rapid review, will ask, is your patient asleep? And it will link out to the sleeping bradycardia guideline. If the answer is yes, my patient is asleep, it will ask, do you have any concerns about this patient? If there are no concerns about the patient, the heart rate's been identified as within the new normal lower limits, then there'll be a reassuring best practice alert saying your patient's low heart rate is likely related to sleep. So we're about to roll this out in the coming months, and we'll be monitoring the impact of this closely, but we believe that by better supporting our clinical practice guideline, we will be able to achieve better improvement in clinical practice. And our learning from this is that a CPG alone, in the absence of being supported in our electronic medical record, is unlikely to achieve the practice change that we wish to achieve. I'd just like to finish by thanking you all for listening and acknowledging all the people who've worked hard on trying to avoid waking children unnecessarily at night, as well as provide the key references. Thank you.